as time goes by, markedly for me, it's always around week number 3. People just start to kind of like taper off. They pay less attention. They interact less. You see less of their stuff in social media, and that's normal because we all have the shiny thing, shiny object syndrome. And so your program in the beginning for them was the shiny thing that they were pouring themselves over. And as the novelty wears off, some of their attention. And so it's up to you to keep their engagement up.
This is the online trainer show, trainer show, trainer show. This is the online trainer show. We shouldn't have a podcast.
I am photographing the bottom part of my microphone because the cable that connects to my microphone is gone from the little kind of like office card where I always have it. So I am like angry texting, the boyfriend, like, where's my cable? Who took my cable? So he's like, what is the end?
And it's a funky one too. It's like USB 3. It's like a really unique.
Yeah.
Like you can order them on Amazon for a few bucks, but it's not the normal USB thing.
Yeah, it's around somewhere. It's just annoying that it should be here and suddenly it's not. So I'm like, who's touching my things?
Well, that was good because you walked in here. You logged in here all cocky. Because you've been holding the fort. Yeah, you did. You walked in here. You logged in with this smile on your face, just so cocky, like you own the place.
Frankly, it's disgusting.
It's not undeserved, right? Like 2021, you are holding this down. I mean, I don't know what happened last week, and I'm simultaneously interested and scared to listen to the episodes. I was told that there's considerably less nonsense when I'm not around, which makes total sense because for the most part, most of the nonsense that happens on this podcast is just because nothing can keep my interest for more than about 2 minutes. That's just the way I'm made.
Pretty much.
And so I always just default to that.
It's like having a conversation with an ant. You just know the ant's not receiving anything that you're saying. It's fixated on a drop of water or, some sustenance for the ant colony, and it's just not paying very close attention. The ant's got bigger plans than having a conversation with you, obviously.
So last night coming home we had dinner at my mother-in-law's, who's here with us in Mexico. She just lives across the street, so she made us dinner. So walking home last night, Calvin found a bug and decided that this bug was like his protector. And he really took it much farther than I think any of us expected him to. But he walked with the bug with his finger, and he's like, oh yeah, the bug's going to protect me at night. I'm going to keep it in my room. And so he walked in, we're like, yeah, sure. Like we played along because we figured it would not last like everything else with a 3-year-old. But this had staying power. And so he comes inside with the ant on his finger and walks upstairs, and we get him ready for bed, and he still has not the ant, the bug. It's like a ladybug or something like that. And he was like, okay, now I need to bring the bug into bed with me so it can protect me. And we're like, okay, why don't you put the bug? So we put the bug in a like Tupperware thing by his bed to protect him at night. And then this morning when he wakes up, he walks into our bedroom and he just has this big smile with the bug on his finger.
Oh.
But he's like, my bug is dead. And we looked at it and he's like, but it's only half dead. It's still moving, but only a little bit. So we decided together that the bug was probably hungry because it was morning time. So then we got a banana and we put some banana inside the Tupperware, and now the bug is eating the banana. And this went on the whole morning while the bug was eating its breakfast, having a merry old time. And then our nanny came over and didn't know this whole story and thought there would just happen to be a bug on his banana and just took it and just tossed it over the balcony and it flew away. And so
like, no! My Patronus! You threw away my Patronus!
It's great.
Buggy, no!
Yeah.
Did he name the
He wasn't
bug?
too upset. He never did, actually. I asked him whether he named the bug, and he said, no, not yet. And then I said, do you want to give the bug a name? And he said, Mosquito. And I said, oh, you're going to call your bug Mosquito? And he said, no. And that's about as far as we got.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Calvin in his wisdom knows to respect the autonomy of the bug. And the fact that he probably already had a name.
What did you guys talk about last week?
It was
little
fantastic. I mean, we missed you.
Yeah, right, of course.
Way to clean it up, Carol.
It was
Yeah.
the best time ever. I mean, it was nothing like the same without you, Jonathan.
Yeah. When Jonathan commented in our Slack channel, I was like, "You weren't here." Like I didn't realize that he wasn't here last week. It's news to me. I guess I always hear him in my mind, in my head. So I just assumed that he was talking over me the whole time I was talking last week. I didn't know, and I'm not sure that he wasn't there. I need to really go back and hear the recordings. I'm pretty sure he was there the whole time. I don't know. I don't know. What
It's one of those solutions, like the Monopoly Man. We all collectively decided at some point that the Monopoly Man had a monocle, and
Right.
he doesn't. But we all imagine him the same way with a monocle. So it's like, Jonathan wasn't
Wait,
here?
what?
Wait, I'm sure he was.
Hold on. He doesn't have a monocle?
He doesn't have a monocle.
You know what,
Amber,
you know
you're
what
going
it
to need
is?
to look this up.
You know what
Yeah.
it is, Jonathan? It's
We're going to need to put this in the show notes.
it's a collective assumption as we merge the Monopoly Man with the Mr. Peanut guy. So the
Look
Mr.
at that.
Peanut, the Mr. Peanut guy has the monocle, and I think because they both wear top hats, and probably because people eat peanuts and play Monopoly, because probably play it at parties at home. I think we just associated anyone who wears a top hat with a monocle. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
There we go.
Can you
Now
imagine
know.
getting dressed to go out and putting on a top hat and not having a monocle, though?
It's like, what's the point even, right? Like, why would
They don't
you?
go together.
Just don't
It
go
does-
halfway.
It's incongruent behavior that's so distressing that I would not want to interact with a person who had a top hat and not a monocle. Frankly, I can't speak for the other members of the podcast, but that would be distressing for me in a way that I couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept that.
That's
I couldn't imagine a
perhaps
monocle.
going one step too far. You, sir, are dressed wonderfully. I love the lapel, the top hat, the snakeskin shoes. You, sir, are dressed wonderfully. But hell hath no fury for a man who does not have a monocle.
You've got one bad eye, and it's wasteful to have a lens over both eyes, even if there's different prescription in both sides. Just put a glass in front of one eye. It's much more stately that way. And you know what they did? They made the monocle more convenient by making it into that hook around the ears, in a similar way that they took the pocket watch and made it more convenient to strap it around your wrist. As a Casio watcher, Jonathan, I'm sure you're very familiar with the history of watches, timepieces. There we go. The Casio travels, and it plays. It always plays.
I'm not. I have no idea what the history of timepieces are. All that I know is that once the Casio watch came into being in the 70s, every other watch was irrelevant. Because it had solved the only problems that a watch needs to solve perfectly and efficiently and effectively and cheaply. Therefore, no other watches were needed afterwards. A watch needs to tell time, needs to have an alarm, needs to have a timer. That is literally it. And as long as a watch does that well, nothing
You're
else
good to
needs to
go.
be done.
Yeah.
Nothing else needs to be done. $20.
tell you.
You're finished. Move on to the next. Buy something else.
My watch is such a control freak, and so passively aggressive. You know, when I sit for long enough, my watch is like, "Why don't you move a little bit?" You know, and if I ignore it, it says it, more and more and more. But if I get up and move, you know what my watch will do? Oh, great job. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate the attitude that my watch gives me based on me living my life. I'm living my life. I bought you. You know, I own you, watch. You don't own me. You're going to sit here and tell me I need to stand up and stretch? I don't think so. I don't think so. I might
What
stretch
kind-
by going to the trash can and throwing you away. That's the stretching I'm doing today.
So
and you're
now-
going to judge me when I move? I don't get it.
Here's what happened to me, and you guys, like, Jonathan is gonna love this, and by love I mean hate this. So I went down the TikTok the hole of despair that is TikTok. It is not. It is awesome, and I love it. And I was just on it. I don't know for how long, but it was long enough for like this TikTok automatic video to pop up, and it's like a girl, and she's like, Stop scrolling. You've been here for a while. Why don't you go get some water? And I'm like, you don't tell me what to do, TikTok. How dare you? I'm like, another video. Give me more.
Kiddo, your life is out of control when TikTok is giving you advice
exactly
about not wasting time. When TikTok itself says, hey, you're a nice person, don't get me wrong, but you're a bit of a stage 5 clinger. Got anything else to do? Like
you just hit the bottom so hard.
So hard. My credibility tanked right there. It's like, oh, I thought she was like a committed professional. I guess she's not. Where were her children when this was happening?
How long do you have to spend on a social media network that is designed to be addictive to say, yo, I think this is a little bit too long.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
I don't know how long it was, but I hit it. I hit that level.
We noticed that when you logged into TikTok, you indicated you had children. Have you seen them lately?
Do you know where they are?
Would you like to get up and check on your children? At some point, you hit the TikTok bottom. God bless you, kiddo. I know I mentioned that you'd be awesome on TikTok, but I never meant for it to be this way. That wasn't what I was. We're completely skipping over the fact we got distracted from Jonathan's original comment, which that Catalina walked into the show with a certain level of swagger that makes us all, quite frankly, very uncomfortable. Even more so because it's justified swagger, as she's been carrying the podcast for the entire year so far. We placed a few side bets behind her back as to when she might tank, but what's important here is that she brought us another great topic today. In her wisdom, not only did she bring us one topic, she gave us 2 topics from which we could choose in 1 year. Which totally trumps last year. She's already 80% over last year's production on this podcast. we're just barely out of January. She's gonna blow a record last year for showing up out of the water. She'll get to 25% of the time this year. But you have a really good topic, Keto. Legitimately, we're all a little stunned by how good the topic is. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to let you say it. And that's not because I don't remember it or I didn't read it. That's not why at all. I just want you to
not at all.
Yeah, I want you to enjoy.
I completely forgot what it was.
Yeah,
Thank you both.
I would say it, but I actually completely forgot what it was.
Thank you. I feel very valued.
I'm so invested in the bug at this moment that I've forgotten what I'm really wondering where that bug landed. Keto, but tell us what are we chatting today about, Keto?
Today we are chatting about how to get your clients to give you the positive social proof that you can then use in your social media to show other potential clients how amazing you are out of the mouth of your current clients.
This is there's a more concise title, but that's around about what it is.
That's the topic. It's not the title. It's the topic.
It's a topic. You're absolutely right, Keto. I stand corrected. Lord knows we won't be able to fit that into a one title on Spotify or iTunes. I was gonna listen to the episode, but I couldn't get past the paragraph before the play button, so I opted out. We've been getting messages, by the way. Jonathan's gotten some messages about the podcast. I got a message today. And it's hilarious because, first thing that's funny is people actually still listen to the podcast. I didn't think this thing.
More and more. We actually seem to be becoming somewhat popular in a very weird, obscure circle of a subsection of an industry. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect it. But we seem to be gaining a fair amount of popularity. I feel like it took people a bit of time to kind of get it, what we were doing here. But the people who enjoy it really seemed to enjoy it, which was kind of the point, right? Like,
Right.
we turned away a lot of people who just, like, tell me what to do. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know, bro. If you really wanted to know what you do, I got books on that. Like, it's not hard to
11.
know what to do.
11.
Do you want to, like, have
Yeah.
fun listening
It's 11.
to something and laugh a little bit and learn at the same time and maybe get some ideas? Like, that's what we do. But it's different. But yeah, I mean, I got a lot of messages yesterday from
we need
people who have
t-shirts.
listened to, like, lots of episodes, like, not just one.
That's awesome.
We need t-shirts that say we're number one in a very obscure subsection of a particular area of an industry. I think that's a great t-shirt.
Yeah.
No, I think it's we're number one in an obscure part of a small subsection of our industry. I feel like that's the t-shirt.
Right. I feel like that's what I said, but obviously
Pretty
I
much
don't know
right.
what
But then Jonathan just recycles it and somehow it sounds better. I don't know.
This is what James Clear does to me, okay? Everything that dude says is what I say, but so much better than how I say it. And I hate him for it. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate you every time that you share one of his memes, Amber. I hate everybody who shares all of his words because they're all words that I have said so many times, but they're said so much better, and I hate it, and I hate him, and I hate everybody associated with him. Can we talk about that?
That's James Clear for everyone. We're going to add him to the show notes as well because you should not miss out.
Oh
Add
man,
him to anything.
welcome back, Jonathan Goodman.
He does not. James Clear does not need our support. He's doing fine.
He actually does not. That's probably the most honest thing that we've said here today.
Right.
He is not tossing and turning at night, wondering whether or not the four people here are supporting him. We are not in any way on his radar at all. He doesn't know that we're people on the planet.
He has figured out how to get people to say positive things about him on the internet.
Right.
Let's just say that he has solved that problem. Except for me, like I said, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Pretty much. So we're probably at the break here. I'm imagining in my mind that the Jonathan Goodman advertisement has played at this point. And we're
How
talking
do
about
you decide
PT
where to
distinction.
put that in?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's probably been inserted somewhere here, but I don't know. Amber does all that stuff. I don't know what
I'll be honest. When I'm listening to these episodes, I skip right past those. I hit that skip 15-second thing 8 times because I know that those are 2 minutes long. Right, so I'm just hitting that 15-second thing. Boom, 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 boom. Back to jogging.
I'm sure Tim over at PT Distinction is thrilled to hear that announcement here on the podcast, Jonathan.
I do it to my own as well. I do it to our ads as well.
Right. That's true.
Hey, Jonathan Goodman here. This podcast is made possible thanks to people like you. Here's a quick word from our sponsors. Are you still trying to pick your online training software? If so, let me make this easy for you. Go with PT Distinction. It's truly the best, and I'm not just saying that because they're our sponsor. We actually use PT Distinction for our own online fitness business, online trainer coaching, and we're really happy with it. From onboarding to programming to client communication, PT Distinction has everything you need to run your online fitness business smoothly, and it's super simple to use. Now, normally they offer a free 30-day trial, but as a listener of the Online Trainer Show, you get a free 60-day trial, so you can make sure you love them before spending a dime. If you want to deliver first-class service to your clients while reclaiming your time, then visit onlinetrainer.com/PTD to sign up for your free 60-day trial today. If you're a fitness nutrition coach that's looking to master online coaching so that you can help more people, make more money, and have more freedom, then the Online Trainer Academy can help. OTA gives you the framework, knowledge, and support to have predictable success with your online coaching business. From marketing to business development to how to assess and motivate your clients online, it is constantly updated and refreshed to keep up with a dynamic market. Not only that, OTA is proven. In 7 years, we've helped over 30,000 coaches in 87 countries go online. Truth is, we know what works. so you can get right to the success part. And in case you're busy working a full-time job or you're a full-time parent, know that you can go at your own pace. There's no deadlines to complete OTA and you have lifetime access. That said, if you are ready to make a rapid change and finish the course in the next 8 to 12 weeks, you can expect to invest 3 to 5 hours each week on the program. And here's the best part. If you join today, you will make an extra $1,000 a month in 90 days, or I'll give you your money back. So if you're ready to build the fitness business you want and make the money you deserve, go to onlinetrainer.com/academy to enroll today. And I hope to see you in there.
So can we dive into the subject? Because I need to learn. Spoiler alert, I'm in the middle of an enrollment week right now. And I'd love to utilize some of this information today, capitalize on the social proof and whatever else you said in that long title. So lay some foundation here. It's time to lay some cement so they can cut it in the room that Jonathan's working in. Jonathan was like, we're considering staying there. Is there any reason that it's called Stone Cutters? He's like, no reason. It's just a name we picked for the living space. Oh, okay. And every day, Jonathan, they're cutting stone. So, Keto, can you give us some? I don't even know where to start with the questions because I don't want to dive too deep into your mind, Keto. You've been corrupted by TikTok. You just start wherever you want to. That's what I'm going to say.
Wherever I want. Okay, yeah, so for context, so we're still talking about a few episodes back. Oh, and those were some nice messages that I received as well. People who heard the episode on the real life example of a program being sold out, in which I talked about that. So thank you to everybody who reached out. Yeah. That was super fun. And I'm glad that you got something out of that. So I'm right now, currently, I'm in the last week of that 4-week program. So what I did at the middle mark, and this is going to be really important for you, like when you have a program going, you're always going to notice that in the beginning, people are super excited, super energetic. They're doing all the things and they're right there and they're present. As time goes by, markedly for me, it's always around week number 3. People just start to kind of like taper off. They pay less attention. They interact less. You see less of their stuff in social media. And that's normal because we all have the shiny thing, shiny object syndrome. And so your program in the beginning for them was the shiny thing that they were pouring themselves over. And as the novelty wears off some of their attention. And so it's up to you to keep their engagement up. So what I did on week number 2, so that I could capitalize on them still having that high energy. You don't want to throw this when they're already kind of like checking out mentally from the stuff that you're doing. Like, don't wait until the last minute to do this. I did it after 2 weeks. I did a surprise giveaway. And what that giveaway entitled is the way that I wrote my post in my private group for my paying clients for this program. I said, I don't care if you have been showing up and doing everything perfectly, or if you haven't even shown up at all. Like, this is a giveaway for everybody to participate. And that is a way that I am kind of like behind the scenes breaking down barriers, because I want every single client to answer the questions that I'm about to ask, right? I want as many answers as I can gather. So this is my way of saying, I don't care, even if you're not killing it, if you feel like you're not doing things right, still participate because you deserve a chance to win. And so the 2 questions that I asked them to answer is question number 1, what is one thing that you have learned thanks to this program so far? And question number 2, what is one thing that you are proud of in yourself thanks to this program? Just those 2 questions, they're very positively set. They force them to think about the good and the positive things that they're gaining out of our time together. And the answers that I got, you guys, were like mind-blowingly good, because in their answers to those 2 questions, they are very clearly explaining how my program is solving the biggest roadblocks and fears of my target market. So now I have it there from the mouth of other women. For the future women who are looking at my social media, they get to see like, oh, look at this client. She's saying that even her kids Love the meals in the meal plan. Good to know. Oh, look at this other one. She's super strapped for time like me, and she's saying she's finding this so easy to follow because it's so well laid out. So they're giving me everything that I need basically to turn and use those answers. And just what I do is I screenshot. I don't use their names because just as I prefer not to, out of respect for their privacy. But I start plastering all that all over my social media. It's like, this is what other clients have to say. And it has worked like a freaking charm. It's so good. Highly recommended.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. So, and I'll let Jonathan chime in here. He's got a furrowed brow, so that means he's thinking about something, or he's thinking about replying to the Instagram messaging that he's doing at the moment. I don't know which one.
I'm thinking about how much of a mistake it is to eat
here we go.
Just really dry nuts.
Here we go.
While you're on an audio production, I feel like almonds and peanut butter was a bad choice.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. In any case, circling back around to this planet, so Keto, if your clients allowed you to tag them, would you do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You
could always go back to them and get permission.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to have permission. I absolutely love, particularly the second question that you asked. Can you repeat it?
The second,
Carolina,
yeah,
just so I
the
know
second question is, what is one thing that you are proud of in yourself thanks to this program, as a result of this program? That's the way that I phrased it.
That is such a picture-perfect question to ask and phrasing. You get so deep into the reasons for starting. You get so deep into their emotional successes, into their inner dialogues, into stuff. You make it okay to say stuff that they might not otherwise. Not that they're not okay saying it, but they wouldn't even think to say it. Mm-hmm. But the way that you phrase the question and the specificity through which you phrase it is perfect. I mean, I think everybody should ask that question to their clients. And 100%, I mean, what you get out of that is literally all that you need. Yeah, you do. Jesus, I'm telling you, man, 4 seconds left in the game. You've scored 4 touchdowns in the second half. You made a big comeback.
We'd be about to go ahead streak right now if it was for Keto. Like.
we just need the kid who was in the car accident a month ago who just went through rehabilitation to kick the game-winning field goal.
And we got the perfect movie.
Pushed down the tunnel in a wheelchair, ran out of the wheelchair onto the field. His shoe was in front of the football, and he simultaneously slipped his foot into the shoe during his kicking motion to kick the late game-winning field goal.
What was it in The Simpsons with the kicker? Where he kicked the ball and then his foot came off with the ball and they both scored the field goal?
I don't know.
He was in The Simpsons, he was the kicker, and he was, of course, a European soccer player. He was the kicker on the football team. And he's talking about how he has no future outside of football. Because obviously in college, like, his education was a joke. He's like, communications was a phony major. So basically, you're basically the European soccer player who couldn't make it in Europe as a soccer player and then became a football player and took a phony major at the college. Got into a car accident just before the big game, was wheeled back onto the field, and then kicked the game-winning field goal. Is really what we're saying in not so many words. I love that question. I mean, talk about that question alone could fundamentally change your business. That could transform your business. That one question. It is so powerful. You could use the information you get from that question across sales pages. You could screenshot it like what Carolina said. You can easily turn it into infographics and memes. You could do so much with it. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Yay! I'm very pleased with myself. I want to answer, like, just go into a little bit more detail because I know these questions are going to pop up because I mentioned this is a surprise giveaway that I did in my clients group. It was a giveaway. I selected an answer at random, and that was part of like the freedom that I gave them is like, you don't even need to come up with the best answer or the perfect answer. It's just going to be a comment selected with a random number generator, which makes it totally stress-free for me, right? No responsibility there on my part. So that's how I chose the winner. And what the winner receives is a book by, in my case, by author Brené Brown, who is super relevant to my target market. Women of middle age love Brené Brown stuff. And I was lucky enough to find that particular book for $8, which is like a super, super sale from the usually 30 Canadian that we pay for her stuff. Fantastic, right? So a hardcover book by her, an exercise band. I got them a postcard with a quote in my business information that I sign and dedicate to them. And Jonathan is gonna love the last part. It's a fridge magnet, and it has my favorite quote by James Clear on it.
You know what? I don't mind that one as much because I'm going on the assumption that James made no money from that fridge magnet.
He made no money, and I did quote him though. I do put his name because I give out props where they are due. But yeah, but it's a beautiful fridge magnet, and it's very, the quote itself is so relevant because it says something like every decision you make.
Of course it is. Everything that he says is relevant and succinct and perfect. That's why I hate him. Of course it's relevant. It's always relevant. It's always relevant. It's always perfect for every single situation, and it always appeals and applies to exactly everybody somehow.
Right.
And I hate it. I hate it.
A 5-word, 1-sentence quote that applies to every situation and that possibly happened in life. That's where his magic ends. That's awesome, Keto. The final betrayal of Jonathan Goodman has happened here on the podcast today. I believe the quote is "Et tu, Keto."
Is what? You cut out.
Et tu, Keto. The final stab of Caesar from Brutus. Et tu, Keto.
All right.
Yeah,
the ultimate betrayal. Yeah, the ultimate betrayal for sure.
So what you're saying is Carolina just stabbed me with a sword in the groin. Is what you're saying.
And I feel privileged to have seen it. I got to watch. It's been a highlight. So
that was such an unsurprising turn of events. that was like the take home of the gift was the James Clear quote. None of that was planned. It was totally unsurprising because everything has his quotes and his words. And
oh my gosh,
it's just not fair to anybody else who writes words, because you look at stuff like that. You look at stuff like that. There's like no possible way that you could write words that eloquently. Like I'm just like I may as well just give up like trying to say smart things. You know?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just gonna make magnets out of his words and like not pay him for it. You know?
Right. That's how you show him, Jonathan.
That's how you get him. I'm gonna send him an email. I'm gonna send him an email so nobody else sees it socially too. So there's no social media attention, and I'm just gonna send him an email, and I'm just gonna be like, James, bro, we haven't talked for a little while. In that interim, you got super famous,
right?
And so I've just decided to steal your intellectual property blindly and send it to you through email so that nobody else sees it.
Jonathan, all these flavors out here, why you got to be so salty? So Keto, tell us. So you've acquired this information, right? You got this tremendous feedback from your clients, and you said that you can share it. Have you shared this information? Like, is this a part of your social yet, or are you holding this in the reserves and in the bullpen, as they say, to be distributed later?
Yes, so I'm still holding it just because I still have at this point 3.5 weeks before my next program is starts. So I'm gonna start dripping it daily and consistently, and definitely like really hammering it down as closer to launch date and all that stuff. But for now, I'm at the task of just like collecting all the information, making it pretty. If I want to make graphics, if I want to just use the screenshot, whatever it is that comes to mind, that's what I'm playing around with right now. And then by the time probably that this podcast episode is released, you'll be seeing some of that stuff on my social media.
We'll all be intravenously on a keto drip of
Awesomeness.
So
I'll
Jonathan,
make sure to comment on your social media posts
sure
as I
you will.
usually do.
Sure.
As I usually do.
Jonathan's comments are going to be like, "Thanks for telling me."
Yeah,
That's what he's
thanks for letting me know.
I'm just gonna post different selfies of my calf on all of your photos from now on.
It's like, here, look at my
The
calf.
calf muscle selfie was awesome for Flex
Yeah.
Friday. Like keto.
She asked to flex. She asked us all to flex. So I
Yep.
I got good calf genetics. Not a lot of us do. So
your
I figured
calves
I have
if
calf
I'm gonna flex
envy.
anything.
I definitely have calf envy. So.
Same here. Same here. I literally threw my calves in the trash after I saw Jonathan's picture. I went into my
It helps
kitchen
to
and I
be. It
threw my
helps to be
calves away.
short
Yeah, I threw
because then
Well,
I mean
I'm
my
short.
muscle insertions are so
I don't
short.
have those calves and I'm short. It's so Jonathan, if you wouldn't mind chiming in, we go to James Clear if he was here, obviously, but you're here, so if you wouldn't mind chiming in, what's the
I was drinking and I almost choked.
never drink while I'm talking, kiddo. I hope you learned a valuable lesson.
Did you see what she was drinking though? She was drinking some Bublé.
Yeah,
Michael Bublé.
James Clear isn't here, but Jonathan is. So, Jonathan, what's good? And feel free to chime in, Keto, because this is your show, obviously.
Nobody was upset about second place. Second place is a respectable place to be.
It's well, Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last, Jonathan. What's good distribution here of this content? Because people are going to ask questions about this episode. What people are going to ask is, what font did you use when you when you put out the quotes? When you ask the question, did you type it all the way out in one sentence, or were there commas in it? Like, people are going to ask the most insane things about this, details that don't matter. But something that sort of does matter is, how do you distribute this content? Like, when you start sharing it, when are you only sharing it when you're enrolling? Are you sharing it as just regular content?
I probably only share it when I'm enrolling. I would use it to guide content production. Mm-hmm. Because now I mean, if these are the if you give people an option to say one thing about themselves like that, now you know what the one most important thing is, or the biggest pain for them is, or the most top of mind is. So you can start creating content around that, like that. Those can be your posts, those can be your videos talking about that problem. In terms of actually sharing like that person's words, I would probably only do that around enrollment. I mean, we talked about the social media calendar before, how you kind of go on a flow each month and how you produce the content, right? And you can do it a bunch of different ways, but first month is going to be more sort of information, general information, whatever it is. Second week is going to be more community building. Mm-hmm. So a lot of interaction type, engagement type posts. Third week is going to be sharing all social proof, is going to be doing interviews with your existing clients, and then fourth week is enrolling. So you could use them obviously in your third week there really, really nicely. We send an email now for our programs that is really, really effective. And this really only works if you have email, if you do email marketing, not so much social media, because social media would just get messy. But basically now, you know all of the reasons why somebody would buy your program. You can categorize them and break them into different slots. So if you know that there's like 6 categories of reasons why somebody might buy your program, well, you can literally send an email that's like, why sign up for the, what was it, Fit for the Dress?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so like, why sign up for the Fit for the Dress program? Or why did others sign up for the Fit for the Dress program, right? And then you could be like, look, I've spoken to you about this already, so I want to let some of our clients speak. Here's why they signed up for the program. And then you just do one, usually in their own words, but in quotes, that sums up the category. And then you can just put one or two testimonials that justifies or that proves that you solve that problem. And then move on to the next, and then move on to the next, move on to the next. If you follow the Online Trainer Academy, I mean, we do that in our promotion, and it works brilliantly. We have actually 17 different reasons. And we have a testimonial for every single one. A lot of the reason why marketing falls flat sometimes is people make claims without any trust elements, without actually backing them up. Whereas here now, you can make a claim and you can say, we help you solve this problem, and then you can literally use somebody else's words and screenshot to be like, we actually help you solve this problem.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to just basically thinking up all of the problems that you want to be solving and listing them, which most consumers are smart enough to know that anybody could do that.
Absolutely.
So actually helping people helps prove to people that you help people. That's a novel idea. It's a tremendous hack. So here's a hack for all the coaches out there. Here's a hack. If you want people to know that you help people, you could start by helping people and then letting them know that the people have been helped.
Think about the process that Carolina went through here, right? And it would be cool to actually do like a whole case study through like the entire thing, because in the episode of whenever it was a couple weeks ago, where it was like where she sold out her program, right? She kept the enrollment small, right? She had a goal of 12 people,
right?
She kept it small. She nailed her target market, right? Like absolutely nailed. Spoke specifically to them. Painted the picture of the problem with even the name of the program, the idea of this dress, of the clothes not fitting the same, talked about her own experience, made it very personal, got those 12 people in. Great. Now when they're in the program, she's taking care of them, but she's also, as they're going in the program, getting them to buy into it more by talking about what they're gaining and getting the words to be able to fill future cohorts. The people in this program are now going to renew. Remember, I keep talking about this metaphor of the big stone wheel, right? Starting a personal training business, starting an online training business is like pushing a big stone wheel. It takes a lot of effort to get it started. But if you put the pieces in place, it just becomes a system. It becomes a routine. All you got to do is just tap the thing and it keeps going and going and going and picks up more momentum. So Carolina has 12 people. Let's say she renews, I mean, this will be low end. Let's say she renews 4, then puts another 12 in. Okay, so she renewed 33%. Okay, 4 out of 12. Okay, now she puts another 12 in. Now she has 16, right? She repeats it again. Now she's going to take 6, 5.5, right? Cool. Now she's going to have 17.5 or 18, right? And so you see how this thing, it's like compound interest, starts to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's not actually more effort. It's just the same effective efforts repeated and repeated and repeated.
Yes.
That's how this stuff works.
Yes.
Right? It's not I did this one thing and got 100 clients. It's I intelligently and strategically put the pieces in place to get the right people in, to gather the information I needed from the people, to renew those people, to build a repeatable process that doesn't force me to reinvent everything over and over and over and over again. Right? And you're literally, I mean, dear listener, you're seeing this evolve as these episodes go. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And you're seeing it happen. I mean, I think it's super cool and like completely unplanned.
There was no plan for this.
You should be paying for this.
You should be paying for this.
We keep telling you you're not paying for this podcast, but like, yo, you should be paying for this. Like, this is as good as you're ever going to get anywhere in anything you're ever going to pay for in terms of a real life case study that you can follow along.
We can legitimately promise you guys that we had no upfront idea that keto would be this good consistently for this long into 2021. It's there's no Paxitani feel for this. Like you know, this is completely accidentally random and satisfactory for us on the podcast. But
we want to make sure that credit goes to where credit's due. And we want to make sure that we get absolutely none of the credit.
Oh, man. we've seen something here that may not repeat in our lifetimes. Yeah, and I kid Catalina. Keto's awesome at what she does when she's here. We know that she's awesome. So we appreciate her insight. But really, Jonathan's, he's not. That's not hyperbole though. Like, you guys are getting the keys to the kingdom here. Like, it's very strategic. And you know what else, Jonathan? And it's time to go now. But you know what else? In your example, you didn't even take into account the likelihood of Keto getting better at what she's doing. Like, seriously, like, that example is her maintaining whatever level of talent or skill that she has now. The reality is she's going to get better. She's going to get better at enrolling, like, renewing more clients the more that she does it. That's just if she stays at the same
It's not just
level.
that.
Yeah.
She's also going to have more and more and more and more people that she's made a positive impact on their life that are going to talk about her. So in the first program of 12 people, if you have 2 of them that are going to talk about you, well, the second program, now you have 16, maybe there's going to be 4. The next program where you're going to have 18 or 20, now there's going to be 6, then there's going to be 10, then there's going to be 20. Now all of a sudden, you have all of these ambassadors that are bringing you in more people. And again, this stone wheel, right? It picks up. It doesn't just keep rolling. It picks up momentum as it goes. It grows as it goes. It gets more and more and more and more attention as it goes. It's not an overnight thing, but it picks up quick. Like, if you look at compounding, I mean, this is how it works. So yes, to your point, 100%, she's going to get, it's Carolina. Like, she got better at this podcast. I mean, she got better at this podcast. So, like, we can.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure. Okay, I'll be safe and say that there's no guarantee that she's going to get better at what she does.
Right.
But irrelevant of whether or not she gets better, the dynamics of what she's doing will grow. And will compound on one another, which will force it to grow, even if Carolina just
even if I
stays
half-ass
the
it
same
and just stay the same.
basic. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a very comforting thought that I can just like half-ass it, sail it through here, and just be like, be kind of mediocre, stay where I am.
So
never
let's talk about James Clear again, right? His whole thing is like get 1% better every single day, and he has that fancy looking graph that's like 1% better, and look how it grows, and 1% worse, and look at how that happens, and blah, blah, blah. Look at me, I can take these concepts and make them so simple and make everybody want to follow them because I'm James Clear. It's like
better than any of the PTDC graphs I've seen. I just want to throw that out there. His graphs, you guys got good graphs, but his graphs are just a big graph here. There's more graphs.
We don't have good graphs. We put very little effort into graphs, way too little. Yeah. But that whole thing of like 1% better, cool. Well, like that's still a lot of pressure. What I'm saying is, y'all don't even got to get 1% better.
Right.
Y'all got to just get a good system go. Because like 1% better every single day is like some pressure. You know what I'm saying?
It's low pressure.
Like that's a good aim, but you don't have to feel bad if you don't get 1% better every single day. Right. Because if you set up a good system like what Carolina is talking about, what she's done, what is going on, what's beginning that you guys are witnessing here is she could actually stay the same and her business would still grow because of the dynamics of how this is happening. Not saying that that's the goal, but like that's how powerful a good system is. So take that, James Clear.
Well, I mean, we know systems are important because, like James Clear said, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems.
When I have children, I'll sing that to them at night. There'll be no Jonathan Goodman books in the home, though. So Jonathan summed it up perfectly when he said, get that stone wheel, get it moving. And when it turns, you'll be good to go. We're gonna wrap this thing up, but I think Ike and Tina Turner said it best when they said, big wheel, keep on turning, proud kettle, keep on burning.
Oh,
and
rolling
on the podcast.
I think I got to hear you sing that song in a high pitched voice.
Big wheel, keep on turning, proud kettle, keep on burning, and we're rolling. rolling on the podcast. Get up, do. There you go, Keto. Shake it up. Put in your best fringed dress. Get in front of your phone and send Amber videos of you dancing to Proud Mary rendition, as done by Ike and Tina Turner, the Creedence Clearwater Revival classic, of course. And send a few copies to Jonathan Goodman as well. He loves that kind of stuff in his inbox.
Yeah.
Once again, we've solved
Please
all
do.
of your problems in, I don't know how much time it's been. I blanked out earlier in the podcast, but it's done now. We're a little bit over time, and we're all double parked. So we'll see you next time on the online. Oh, show notes. Show notes can be found at onlinetrainer.com/podcast. I almost lost it there. We'll see you guys next time. I pulled it back together. Have a great whatever day it is when you're listening to this, and implement some of those, some of that stuff Keto said. We don't know how long this is gonna last.
We're milking it for as long as we can because we don't know how long it's gonna last.
No promises. No promises.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by your excellence, Keto.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.